Rock and roll has never been about breaking the rules, turning up the volume, and telling the truth even when the world does not want to listen. But behind the electric guitars and screaming crowds, rock has been a powerful platform for LGBTQ+ expression and rebellion. In this video, we take a look at how rock music became a voice for the oppressed, a mirror for queer identity, and a revolution in leather jackets. Since its inception in the 1950s, rock and roll had a rebellious spirit. Early trailblazers, such as Little Richard, defied gender roles and social conventions with their outrageous fashion sense and energetic stage presence. Born Richard Penniman, Little Richard sported eyeliner, pompadours, and flashy suits. He didn't record hits, he made statements. At a moment when being queer might translate to destruction, he chose to exist unapologetically. While he struggled with his own identity throughout his years, his existence broke down the door for future queer artists. The 1970s birthed glam rock, a shiny, defiant genre that transgressed the borders of gender, sexuality, and performance. Glam rock, at its essence, wasn't music. It was a visual revolution. David Bowie, Mark Bolan of T-Rex, and Roxy Music's Brian Eno trooped onto stages painted with makeup, sequins, and platform boots, defying conventional ideas of masculinity with every pose and every note. David Bowie, particularly, became a symbol of queer identity with his alter ego, Ziggy Stardust. Flaming red hair, space futuristic costumes, and undefined sexuality made Ziggy not just a persona, he was a declaration. Bowie's self-acceptance as bisexual, at least then, brought courage to millions of fans who were fighting identity in a strict society. Freddie Mercury, the iconic Queen frontman, contributed to this wave as well. While keeping his sexuality generally out of the public eye throughout his lifetime, his outrageous performances and edge-crawling persona deeply connected with queer crowds. Glam rock provided a daring visual in which fluidity equaled power and difference was valued. It provided a field in which LGBTQ+ people could look at themselves as anything other than outsiders, but as stars. The movement served to burst open mainstream gates, paving the way for even greater freedom of expression in rock and beyond. During the late 70s and 80s, punk blew up like a Molotov cocktail, angry, raw, and unvarnished. And in its anarchy, LGBTQ+ voices had space to yell back at a world that had relegated them to the fringes. Patti Smith, the godmother of punk, married poetry with political fury. She wasn't queer herself, but she paved the way for others by rejecting gender norms. Queer punk bands such as Pansy Division and the Dicks came along in the underground music scene, unapologetically identifying with themselves with overt lyrics and rebellious stage presence. And then Joan Jett, leather-wearing, fearless, and openly supportive of LGBT rights.
I could tell it wouldn't be long that he was with me, yeah, me, and I could tell it wouldn't be long.
She never had to label her sexuality, instead remarking, "I don't really care what people think I am." That attitude, that punk defiance. The AIDS epidemic hit the LGBTQ+ community hard, and much of the world looked away. But music didn't. Rock became a voice of grief, protest, and survival. Elton John, though not publicly out at the time, became a leading advocate and later founded the Elton John AIDS Foundation. Freddie Mercury's death in 1991 shook the world and brought global attention to the crisis, Bands like REM and U2 spoke out, while queer punk musicians used raw, emotional songs to demand visibility. Massive events like Live Aid and the Freddie Mercury tribute concert helped turn music into a powerful tool for empathy and change. In a time of silence, rock made noise. The 90s brought grunge, alt-rock, and a new wave of queer defiance. Kurt Cobain pushed back on homophobia and gender norms, showing solidarity with LGBTQ+ fans. Melissa Etheridge came out in 1993, giving lesbian artists a powerful voice in mainstream rock.
Please, baby, can't you see I'm trying to explain? I've been here before and I'm not.
Meanwhile, the Riot Grrrl movement, led by bands like Bikini Kill and Le Tigre, blended queerness, feminism, and punk rage to create something bold and empowering. In the 2000s and beyond, queer visibility in rock became louder and prouder. Brandi Carlile explores identity, love, and spirituality on stages worldwide. King Princess and Hayley Kiyoko openly sing about same-sex love, becoming queer icons for a new generation.
Always let it brush your hair. Does it make you freak out? Got you fussed and got you worried, scared.
Young blood, gender fluid, and fearless creates safe spaces through sound and self-expression. And legends like Elton John continue to uplift new queer voices, making today's queer rock not just visible, but revolutionary.
No sacrifice. It's no sacrifice.
Rock stages as safe spaces concerts aren't just shows, they're sanctuaries. For decades, LGBTQ fans have found refuge, joy, and freedom in the crowd. Singing, dancing, and waving rainbow flags, they reclaim space and sound. Because rock and roll is, at its core, the freedom to be your true self. From Little Richard's eyeliner to Hayley Kiyoko's rainbow heart, rock has always been a home for queer voices. It's fought silence and shame with celebration and sound. So next time you hear a guitar riff, remember, that sound helps someone feel seen, and still does. Because rock and roll didn't just change music, it helped change the world. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful music stories. What artist or song helped you feel seen? Drop it in the comments.